everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I am back with another video, and this time we'll be doing a beautiful set of burgundy nails. So the first thing that I'm doing is I'm going in with a pair of nippers to remove her bling. As you can see, everything stayed on really good. She wasn't missing not one rhinestone at all. So we're just removing that bling, and then after that we're going to go in to remove her gel polish. And as you can see, I am struggling trying to remove the bling, so I am going to be leaving some of the small ones, and then with my coarse drill bit I am going to just be filing them off because I literally could not get them off. Alrighty, so after fighting and struggling to get the bling off, left a lot of it on, so I'm just going to be filing it off. I usually don't file the rhinestones off only because they are really hard since they are glass, but I left some of the smaller ones so it won't be too hard. But as always, I'm using a coarse drill bit, and it is a safety drill bit. As always, you want to make sure that you're using a safety one if you're using a coarse one, because you do not want to file on their natural nail with this one because it is very coarse. We are just removing the gel polish. Again, this is a safety coarse drill bit. Alrighty, so once all of the gel polish is removed, we're going to go in with a cuticle pusher to push back those cuticles. And she only had this set for like 2 weeks, and her nails grow pretty slow. So as you can see, she did not have that much new growth. But again, we're just pushing back those cuticles, and then after that, we're going to go in with a sanding band, which is a 180 sanding band, to remove the shine from the natural nail. As always, make sure that you remove all of the shine from the natural nail. You want to make sure you even come back and dust them off afterwards to check for any shiny layers or any shiny spots, because if not, you will get lifting. This is a really important step. You want to make sure that you prep your client's nail properly. And again, this is a 180 sanding band. You don't want to use anything more coarse than a 180 because you will damage the natural nail. As always, we're not filing to thin out the nail. We're literally just filing to remove that shiny layer. After that, we're going to go ahead and dust them off. And for my acrylic, I'm going to be using my Mia Secret acrylic system. And for my primer, I'm using my OPI Bondex. As always, we're just applying that on the natural nail. Be sure not to get it on the skin because if they have any cuts, it will burn them. Again, for my acrylic, I'm using my Mia Secret acrylic in the color pink. It's just pink, not covered pink, not multi-valence pink. It's just pink, which is like a translucent pink. For my brush, I'm using my Alpha brush in a number 9, and it is an oval shape. As you can see, I place my bead right closer to the cuticle area, patting it down and then brushing it down towards the tip. And then afterwards, make sure that you wipe your brush off while you're working and then clean around the cuticle area. You don't want to get any product on the skin because it will be really hard to take off and most likely you will get lifting. And then after that one, I just applied a bead closer down to the tip, or like right in the middle, brushing it down towards the tip to make sure that our nail is nice and strong. Again, we pick up a bead, place it closer to that cuticle area. As you can see, I'm gently patting it down and then stroking it down towards the tip. And when you're brushing it down towards the tip, you're literally just like feathering it down. You don't want to brush down too hard because you still want most of that product to be right there where you placed it in the beginning. As always, clean around the cuticle area. Be sure that it's not acrylic on the skin because if not, you will get lifting. And then as always, making sure that you wipe your brush off on your paper towel as often as possible to prevent your brush from getting dirty and getting acrylic stuck on it. And then I'm placing another one just at the tip of the nail, again, just to make sure that our nail tip is nice and strong. But as you can see here, I'm just looking at it from different angles. If you need to add a little bit more, that's fine. If you don't, then just keep moving over to the other one. And this is my actual speed. So as you can see, I place my bead, brush it down towards the tip. Again, you want to make sure that you're really gentle when you're brushing it down towards the tip because you don't want to just brush all of your product down towards the tip. You want it to stay where you placed it at the beginning. And again, I am using my Alpha brush in a number 9 and it's an oval shape. And I do have a promo code for them, so I'll be sure to leave that down in the description. And here you will see me going back to the last finger and doing a little bead closer to that cuticle area just because I seen that there was like a tiny spot where there wasn't any acrylic. And that's why I say that you have to look at your nail from different angles, because just looking at it from the top, you might not be able to see a little imperfection or something. Just like I did with that one, it was literally like a little hole on the side of the nail, so I just went back in and filled it in. So it's really important to look at your nail from the sides, from the top, just wherever, to make sure that there's nothing wrong with it, to make sure that it's nice and smooth, or to see if you need to add a little bit more acrylic. But as always, make sure that you are working smarter and not harder. You don't want to just start applying acrylic all over because you will have a lot of filing to do at the end, and that is just a big no-no. So again, make sure that you are applying the acrylic only where you need it and not just everywhere, because you will have a big thick nail. And also you want to make sure that you're cleaning your brush off a lot. As you guys know, I use the Viva paper towels and they just work really good for me because they really absorb that liquid. So make sure that you clean your brush off a lot, because if not, that acrylic will get stuck on your brush and it would be impossible to have a smooth application. So we're going to do the same thing on the other hand. Again, we're just placing a bead closer to the cuticle area, patting it down, brushing it down towards the tip and cleaning it around the cuticle area. And then if you need to add another bead to the tip, that's fine. Again, it depends on how big your first bead was. You might or might not have to add more acrylic. It just depends on how the nail looks. Alrighty, so we are on our last nail. So I do want to remind you guys that after each set, you want to make sure that you sit your acrylic brush in a dampened dish with brush cleaner for about 10 minutes to make sure that you clean it off and soak off any acrylic that might be stuck in the brush. After that, we're going to go in and just reshape the nails. As you can see, they're already that coffin shape, but we're just going to redefine that shape. And for that, I'm using a 100-100 nail file. And again, we are just reshaping the nails. So after we finish reshaping the nails, we're going to go in with the fine drill bit. As always, start around that cuticle area, going from the right side over to the left side. I just go back and forth. Remember, keep your drill bit moving at all times, because if you leave it in one spot for too long, it will cause friction and it will cause your client's nail to burn. And as always, make sure that you look at your nail from different angles. You might have a little bump somewhere and you won't see it until you turn your nail over to the side. So make sure that you look at it from different angles. And I know that I say that a lot, but it's really, really important. But again, this is my normal speed. So as you can see, I start over on the right side around the cuticle area. Just go back and forth doing that same movement, and then following the rest of the nail with the belly of the drill bit to make sure that our nail is nice and smooth. And also, as a beginner, you might have a lot more of filing to do just because it's a little bit harder to get a smooth application. But once you start practicing, you will most likely just have to file really good around the cuticle area, kind of like me, and then just file the rest of the nail to make sure that it's nice and smooth. Again, make sure that you focus on that cuticle area. No matter if you're a beginner, if you're a professional already, you still have to follow around that cuticle area really, really good to prevent lifting. And I promise you, if you're still getting lifting, I probably say this in every video, but if you're still getting lifting and you think that you're doing everything right, you're prepping the nail correctly, you're doing everything right, But I promise you, if you're not doing this right, if you're not sealing that cuticle area really good, you're still going to get lifting. I'm telling you from experience, this was my issue. I was not sealing around that cuticle area really good, and I was getting lifting. Or it could also be your acrylic, because I had that issue once upon a time. So make sure that, you know, if you know for a fact that you're following right, then I would consider maybe trying another brand or something. But this will most likely cause your lifting if you're not sealing that cuticle area really good. Alrighty, so once we're done filing, we're going to go in with the buffer to make sure that they are nice and smooth. As always, this is just to get rid of any of the scratches left from your e-file or your hand file. So we're just making sure that we smooth them out. And as you can see, I always run my thumb over the top of the nail just to make sure that it's really smooth. And if not, I just go back and buff some more. After this, we're just going to dust them off and then wipe them off with an alcohol wipe. Or you can have your client go wash your hands. Whatever works for you is fine. Alrighty, so for our polish, we're going to be using this Joya Mía MX04 gel polish, and this is actually from their Illuminix collection, which is the chrome gel polish. So this is actually like the red tint, so it's kind of like a jelly effect. It's just a little bit darker, but you can still kind of see through the nail. So we're going to be doing tips on all of the nails except for like two. We're going to do a full nail on the middle finger and the ring finger on each hand. Again, we're just going to do the tips, and I'm using a small cleanup brush, or actually it's an OPI gel brush, but I'm using it as a cleanup brush to clean around that small line. I just dip it into acetone, wipe it off on a paper towel to where it's like damp but not soaking, and then I go and clean around the small line. For this nail, we're going to do a full nail, and we're actually going to come back and draw on this one. So we're going to go ahead and do one coat of this on each nail, and after this, we're going to cure this hand for 30 seconds. Alrighty, so again, we're going to cure this for 30 seconds, and we're going to do the same thing on the other hand, except for this one, we're going to do a full nail on the ring finger, but the rest of the nails will be the tips. Again, we just we just polish the tip of the nail, and then we go back and just clean up that small line really good with acetone and our cleanup brush. As you can see, I just go from one side of the nail over to the other one, and or to the other side, and I just do one big swipe and clean my brush off as I go. Alright, so we're going to cure this one as well for another 30 seconds, and then we're going to do a second coat on this one. So again, we're just using the same color, which is the MX04 by Joya Mía, and I'll leave the link in the description. Alrighty, so we're doing the second coat on both hands, and after that I'm going to go in with a regular polish in the color Dragonfire, and it's just a bright red, and I'm using a really small nail art brush, and I'm going to be doing the Louis Vuitton symbol or logo, I guess. And again, I'm just using the color Dragonfire, and I'm using a small nail art brush. And then I am going to come back and erase, or not erase, but take off that first one, because as you can see, I did the L going straight down because I forgot that it actually goes like at an angle. So that second one, I'm actually going to be doing it right. Again, as you can see, this time I'm angling my brush a little bit and then doing the L. But the bottom part was a little bit too long, so I'm going to come back and erase that and then just do it again and do it a little bit shorter. And this is why I like doing gel polish, because if you mess up, you could always just take the regular polish design off. But again, we're just going to go ahead and draw it. So as you can see, I draw like a V. And then I draw the little L. Again, you're drawing it at an angle. It's not just straight down, it's at an angle. And then we're also going to go back and draw like the other little symbols that come with the Louis Vuitton design. And I'm not sure if I just said this, but this is regular polish. This red that I'm using right now for the nail art, it is regular polish. It is in the color Dragonfire by La Palme. As you guys know, this is my favorite red polish. It's just so bright and pretty. So as you can see, for this one, we're doing, I don't know, it kind of looks like a little flower. And then we're going to come back and do a dot in the middle. I'm going to try to take it off with nail polish remover, but at the end I am going to come back and just do a dot of that same color that we use underneath or the gel polish. And then for the other symbol, I'm going to do a circle, and then we're going to come back and do the dots in the middle. Alrighty, so we're going to let that dry because again, it is regular polish. So we're going to go ahead and do the same thing on this other nail. So again, we're doing the Louis Vuitton logo, and then we're going to do the other pieces. Again, this is in the color Dragonfire by La Palme. As you guys know, I used to buy the La Palme polishes from my local beauty supply store, my local nail supply store. And they're only like $5.50 for the dual pack, which means it had a regular polish and a gel polish, and they were really good. I only have maybe like 5 or 6 of the sets, and then they stopped selling them, and now all they sell is like D&D for the most part. But I will try to find the link to where I seen them online, and I think they're probably like no more than $7. So I'll be sure to leave that down in the description. Alrighty, so after that, we're going to go in with the dotting tool, and we're going to do the little dots of that MX4 gel polish just to give it that more, you know, clean effect instead of trying to just go in and clean off a dot. Again, we're just using that same burgundy color, and we're just going in with some dots. Alrighty, so after that, she wanted to add a little bit more. So we're going to go ahead and outline all of the small lines in red rhinestones. So I'm using my Mia Secret Gel Resin, my red bling, and my wax pencil. As you guys know, I had this red bling on my website. Again, it is still down for restocking. I still do not have a date on when it's going to be up, but I'll be sure to keep you guys updated. So again, we're using the Mia Secret Gel Resin, the wax pencil, and the red rhinestones, and we're just outlining that smile line. Alrighty, and as you guys know, after we apply the bling, we're going to go in with the activator and just spray all the nails. And after that, I'm going to be using my IBD gel top coat, and we're going to top coat all the nails and curing them for 60 seconds each. Alrighty, y'all, so here is the final look. They turned out really pretty. That burgundy and that red just went perfect together. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram at GetNail32, and I'll see you guys next time.